Hey guys, this is Don Eanes from the band Unspoken. We're here in the Chicago area at this wonderful Willow Creek church, and I'm here to show you my rig. We're on tour with Casting Crowns, the Very Next Thing tour, and the wonderful Danny Gokey. But here's my rig. It's pretty self-explanatory. We got a Hammond B3, which I can fire up for you. I started taking lessons just as a kid, you know, in the second grade, taking piano lessons. I told my mom, hey, I want to learn how to do that. Knock on wood, I have never had a real job, so yeah, piano lessons definitely pay off, for sure. But yeah, I've been a self-employed musician my whole life, basically, for, 28 years, so yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. It's I love it. So it's all I've ever done, really. So yeah. Yeah, the question was how I obtained this Hammond B3. A friend of mine once told me you're either a Hammond B3 player or you're not. And I am definitely a B3 player. It's a different beast. It's not a plug-in, and that's one thing I should say. I don't use like a MacBook rig, which is a pretty popular thing to do and a great thing, but I'm more of a like a board guy, like a B3 and a Leslie cabinet and a Nord Stage 2, and then my accordion, which is behind me, and then sometimes where you're standing I'll have a Juno 60 synth. I just like the real thing. But anyway, getting back to the B3, it's just there's nothing like the sound of a real B3. It's just a lovely. It's got, you know, 9 draw bars. And it will get stupid loud if you want it to. That's the thing right there. There's nothing like a real Leslie cabinet. A plug-in, you're not going to get that vibe. So for this band, Unspoken, the best thing about playing with these guys is they're all incredible musicians, right? So it's really like a great rock band. I mean, so yeah, so this thing fits in completely, you know, with the vibe, the sound that they're shooting for sure, yeah. And this thing on top of my B3 is a Nord Stage 2. Lots of dudes have a Nord Stage 2, either using it as a controller or just the onboard sounds are killer. But yeah, it's pretty much industry standard, I guess is the right word. But great pianos, great pads, tons of presets that you can. It's a great live board because on the fly you've got your synth thing, your effects, and fake B3s, which I never use, and then just real pianos. But yeah, it's just a great synth, great piano sound, live piano sound that cuts through well. So yeah. And last but not least, my trusty accordion. This thing, I said I like real things, but this is where I break the law just one time. It's a modeling accordion. It's great for sound guys because it has a 1/4 inch out, so no mic needed. I do own some real accordions and harmoniums and stuff, but for arenas and like venues of this size, this thing is where it's at for sure. But yeah, it's just I use it on one song. Yeah, so it's great, but it also has different, you know, presets for reeds. So it's great. It's no reeds but bellows, so you definitely have to squeeze it to make noise. But like I said, for arenas, bigger venues, it's perfect. So yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah, and for in-ears, I use my trusty Westone ES 660s, I think they're called, ES 60s, and you can see I take great care of my gear. That's sort of funny and not funny all at once. Here's the box for it. If you want, you can look down in here, not to shift gears on you, but this is the bottom of my B3 anvil case. I've got my wireless Sennheiser unit for my accordion, a bottle of Deoxit D5, which is a necessity for a B3 player because you just need to keep this thing clean, contacts and all that stuff to keep it rolling. I have a journal to read, which is great. A chart, all kinds of stuff. If you dug through there, you might be able to find even like some change and some other stuff. But yeah, Westone ES60s, they sound great. 6 drivers. Yeah, they're incredible. So, yeah. And if you want to, if you've never seen it before, this is the back of what a B3 looks like. And it's spinning. Don't touch that. To reiterate, that's where it's like 110 volts coming out of that thing. That should be covered, but it is not, which is going back to my in-ear thing. I sort of don't take care of stuff, but no, it's all tube driven, which is where you get that sound. There's tone wheels in there, 2 motors, lots of fun stuff. But yeah, that's a cool shot right there if you want to peek inside that thing for sure. And then last, I've got my Leslie cabinet. It's the Leslie 145. It's the amp, for those of you that don't know, it's the amp for that organ up there. So it's like the amplification system. It's if you want to sneak down in here, it's on fast right now, but that thing goes slow and fast and is controlled by my little half moon switch up there on the left side of the B3. But again, this thing's tube driven. Pretty much factory. I think it's a 73 model. That B3 is a 71. This is a 73. Yeah, it's the only thing I've modded on this. I have a solid state relay, which is pretty sweet for recording. For those of you that know what I'm talking about, when you go fast and slow, there's a tube that controls it. So you'll hear this when you're going fast, slow. But if you put a solid state relay in there, you will not hear that tick. So it's great for recording, great for live stuff. But other than that, it's a beast, and you heard it earlier. So it can get very loud. I think it's on like 5 right now, so it can get louder. But yeah, that's my rig. Hey, I hope you dug it. Yeah, and digital tour bus, right? Hey, yeah, and Josh, thanks for having me, and we'll see you tonight at the show.
This is Michael Gomez. I'm the guitar player for the band Unspoken, and I want to show you my gear. And the first thing that a lot of people never show is their cases. And this is a mono case that I love because it fits one guitar here and it fits another guitar right over here. So if we do fly dates and stuff, and you always want to bring a backup guitar, or even when I play a Gokey acoustic that's very thin, I can bring an electric and an acoustic. Boom, I'm done. So I love these mono cases. And in this tour, I'm just bringing 2 electrics. We have a short set, and I didn't see the need to bring like 800 guitars. So this guy here is one of my favorites. This is a Les Paul, I think it's 1982. And yeah, it's a standard. It's got a few cracks in the finish, which just kind of like happened by some neglecting, I guess, before it came to my hands. And I love it because it gives it so much character. Every time I post a picture of it, everybody goes just like drooling over this thing, and it's really heavy, but it plays super nice. The action's super low, and I love it. Simple Les Paul, they're all basically wired the same. You have tone and you have volume for the different pickup positions over here. Pickups that came in stock, and normally I don't like to mess with like adding different pickups unless the guitar sounds really strange. Like I have a higher end Les Paul actually that I don't like the pickups, so probably eventually I'll switch those. But this one sound like super great, and I have this one a little bit lower here. They pack in a bite, so I try to keep it a little bit under control because my other guitar is like a thin line telly style guitar. So you want to kind of like, if you switch guitars in the middle of a show, it'll be the volume difference, it'll be a bite difference. So if I'm playing this one, I normally take the overdrive a little bit less on my Kemper, which we'll go in a little bit out there. So yeah, other than that, it's just a sweet piece of guitar that when I was a kid I could only dream of owning one of these guys. So the strings, I honestly just take it to a guy in Nashville and he puts whatever. They're definitely 10s. That's what I use. But the brand, I don't know. I honestly don't know what he uses. I mean, I like the Adarios, I like Elixirs and stuff, like but I hate changing guitar strings, and I normally just pay somebody to do it for me. So right here we have one of my favorite guitars that I've ever owned. It's it's a little sloppy up here in the top because I normally clip this thing out, but this is me changing the strings. See, this is why I don't like to change strings. This is a Paler guitar. It was custom made in Louisiana by a guy named John Paler. You should follow him on Instagram because he's making insane like relic type of guitar. So it has a Duesenberg tremolo here. So it's got I believe it's got Porter pickups, and they sound amazing. I mean, this guitar is just plays super good, sounds great. I mean, anything that I can say would be little, you know, on this guitar. So I had two of them made, same kind of finish, one like Jazz Master style, and then I got this bad boy. And but I'd say this right now is my number one go-to guitar to record and everything. I have awesome amps in my house, and I love amps more than guitars. Like I have a really nice Mr. Boogie. I had an Orange. I have a Dr. Z head. I have a Tyler amp, which is, I'm like, hands down. But I started flying a lot and doing all kinds of dates, and I couldn't bring my amps with me. So guess what? I did what a lot of people are doing. I got myself a Kemper profiler. And so I have here my own flight case with the little wireless unit here. It's Shure. And you know, so wherever I go now, like we're going to Brazil in July, I just need to bring my Kemper, and I know that my sound is going to be exactly or very close to what I have in my ears the rest of the year. So that for me has just created a lot of convenience without, and feeling that I'm not necessarily compromising on my guitar tone, because they did an amazing job on it. And as far as like what profilers I use, I started thinking, well, I'm just going to profile all my amps and all that. And then I talked to a couple friends of mine that said, you know what, when you buy the profiles like the Michael Britts and all the other guys are online, these guys just like perfected that technique. They have an awesome studio. They have expensive mics. There's no way you're going to get an awesome profile like right there in your bedroom, because I'm not necessarily like a studio guy. I'm more just like a straight up player. So I said, you know what, that sounds good. So I started digging, and I bought a bunch of profiles. Most of them are modded after an amp called Trainwreck. And then the Kemper actually has a huge and awesome effects section, because a lot of my friends have their own pedal board and they just run it and they use the Kemper as an amp. But I just decided to do a couple more days of like homework and said, hey, let me just dig in here and find all the effects and all the things and that I need, and even overdrive, stacking overdrives and things to get different tones. So I ended up just getting that thing going like that, you know. So I love it. It just has a Cat 5 that goes all the way to my pedal board, which is where we're gonna go now. I also want to talk about my in-ears. They're Westone, and they're very awesome. They isolate just about everything in the outside, and that made me, I used to bring an amp for stage volume for the Kemper, and eventually I just couldn't hear the amp because these are so isolated. So they sound awesome. They have like 18, 20 drivers. Oh no, I'm just kidding. They have 6 drivers on each side, so they're pretty awesome. And so they're from the Kemper, this Cat 5. Boom, this is all I need right now because I'm not playing. This is divided on acoustic rig and electric rig. So if I be you playing acoustic, I need power for this guy and this guy. But since I'm just playing this, Kemper is all there is. It's got a volume and wah controller here. And I also have a tempo board, which is amazing because I change a lot of pedals, and all I do is like unscrew them in the back, change them, whatever. They're super awesome, great company, check them out. This is my acoustic rig, tuner, compressor, reverb, and this is my secret weapon. This is a Candy Eye. It's got a tube inside, and it can make a crappy guitar, acoustic guitar, sounds like $1 million. I mean, literally every gig, somebody comes and say, hey, what's your guitar tone? And of course, I say my fingers, but then I say, yeah, so it's this guy over here. So, I love it. I hope you guys had fun checking out my gear, and thank you for your support and bringing you on tour.
What's up? I'm John from the band Unspoken. I'm the bass player. This is kind of my main guy right here. It's a Fender American Deluxe. Got this guy used in Nashville when I moved to town. I was so excited when I moved to town because I looked on Craigslist and there were guitars everywhere. So this was like the first thing I ever bought when I moved to Nashville, and I've been playing it ever since. For strings on here, I honestly don't even remember what they are because I love old strings, and these are probably about 6 or 7 years old. I won't change them unless I break one, which that pretty much never happens. As far as what I got for pickups, settings, everything, it's all stock. Just the deluxe American pickups on here. I can't even remember what they are. I pretty much run it flat. I got a little bit of mid boost on here right now, just because with the system we're running right now, we got a lot of big subs, so trying to get a little bit more punch through that. Of course, the strap, rocking the Fender strap, very important, keeps it on my neck and gives me a lot of neck tension in here. But cool. I guess that's about it. Rocking a wireless unit, this guy right here. Works okay when you get in the big arenas. Sometimes it cuts out on me, so I got to make sure I don't run too far. I also play acoustic guitar on a couple songs. I'll be playing it on one song tonight. This is a Martin M36. It's basically just slightly bigger than a O size. Same kind of body size that Ben Harper, guys like that play. I got this a few years ago from Martin. It was one of those things that was like, ever since I was a kid, I wanted a Martin, and finally talked my wife into letting me get it. So I love this guy, I love playing this guy. I think it's a beautiful guitar, got the 3-piece pack on it. As far as a pickup, I've got a LR Baggs Anthem SL in it, and I rock it pretty much in the middle between the mic and the piezo on the inside. But I think it's one of the greatest sounding acoustic pickups out there right now. So, as far as pedals, I'm not rocking a whole bunch right now. We got a pretty short set on this tour, so really all I'm using is, most importantly, a tuner. And then I'm just using a Sans amp for the bass. For the acoustic, I got this acoustic exciter DI that I got it a while ago. Sounds pretty good. I've been using it and I like it. And then, of course, the pedal power to power everything. And that's about it. The rest of it's not really being used. Except, well, the wireless unit there. Looping, you know, so I can practice with myself, but don't use that in the set. All right, the most important piece of gear that I got. I bring this everywhere. In this case right here is my coffee rig. I got everything in here: water boiler, siphon coffee brewer, an AeroPress, a French press, got a little Bunsen burner in there, so that's all you need.
Hey, my name is Ariel Munoz. I play drums for Unspoken. And this is one of my babies. It's the one I use on the road so far. It's a Yamaha Maple Custom. And I was a little bit bored when I was using only a rack tom and the floor tom, which is like the norm, if you want to call it the norm. But then I have other 2 pieces at home, just aging, doing nothing. I say, you know what? I like to play big drums. We're doing our own thing now. So I just bring it out. This is a 10, 12, 14, and the Beast, 18. I use a combination of cymbals. I started using the Minals not long ago, probably 2 years ago. Prior to that, I used pasties. And the reason I changed is because I was looking for something faster, louder, drier. So I went to these guys, the Vislands from Minal. But I always play big hi-hats. And I don't know if you realize that this is a 17-inch hi-hat. This is 2 of the pasties crashes that I have. They're 17 and I'm experimenting. Saw a friend of mine doing it. And I said, you know what, that's kind of cool. I tried it, love it. I cannot get rid of these things. They're so good. They have a good wash, so I don't have to play like, you know, heavy quarter notes. It's like a one hit. It's there. I love it, you know, for the type of music we play. Then I have 2 snares. This is Noble and Cooley. This is a steam bend. They don't make this anymore, unfortunately, but it's a beauty. I searched for it. I put the serial number. Actually, I couldn't find anything. I send it straight to the Noble and Cooley people, and they get back to me probably 8 months after I request information about the snare that I inherited from a friend. And they said that it's a model they did for Manny's stores back in the days in New York, and it's a steam bend. So they basically take wood, steam it until it bends, and form the snare. It's precious. And then I have my side snare here, which is a piccolo. It's just a 3.5 by 13 And this guy, I use it for like playing loops, because I get bored, you know, my ADD kicks, and I have to be doing something. And instead of playing all and relaying on the computer, which is this guy here, I play the loops. I told the guy, just get the loops out, and I do the much of loops that I can. So I got this. Then I have a pad right attached to the rim. And then down here, I don't know if you can see, I have my trigger. That's another trigger there for my kick. So basically, I play my own loops. If we're doing a verse, I play my own loops. So that way it looks like I'm doing something. I'm not relying on the computer. So we can shut the computer down. We can still play and sounds like a band. On the heads, I use Evans G2 coated. I used to cartridge back in the days, and these guys stole my heart. And I have a bunch of sets at home, and there's only one type of head that it fit on all of my sets, because I'm looking for that warm sound, not that overtone, high pitch. No, I'm looking for that warm sound, and for me, that G2 coated does it for me. I have the Reso on the bottom, the new 360 Reso from Evans too. So I love this head. I like it that much. It's just funny. This is a true story. When I start this tour, I usually use the Evans Vented, which is it's a 14-inch with holes through it. What that does is allow the snare to breathe. So it's a very faster snare. But for this tour, we're doing this big space. As you can tell, this is a huge space. I was missing something, and even in my ears, I'm playing with in-ears, and I was losing that fat on it. So I said, you know what, I got to do something here. So I went and got another G2, which is the same I use for the toms. I know there's tons of heads for snares, but I said, you know, if it works for my toms, let me try it on my snare. And man, let me tell you, this thing is precious, and it sounds good. Only two gels to, you know, control the overtones, but it's amazing. Love it. Here I have the SPD SX. This thing is a lifesaver. You can do everything with this thing. Actually, I can literally take this off, not use it at all, and put it all here. But then this is too big to carry. Laptop is easier. So, but right now this is controlling my sounds in my triggers. Plus I have sounds here too. And from here you can do click, you can play sequence, you can play, you know, you can assign, you can through the computer, you can get a sound that you like from a CD or whatever, put it in a computer and bounce it. And let me tell you, man, I'm not the smartest guys in the room. I am not. But this thing is so easy. You gotta screw it up like a couple times, at least 4 times, and then you figure it out. Done. You're done. You settled. You know how to deal with this. It's a great tool, man. And it's, for what it does, is very affordable. So, man, this is a great tool to have. And this, again, it controls. And if I'm playing a song, then we change to another song. I just boom, change the page. And it's as good as I can have. I do have a control that I use on the floor, but I'm sharing drum with Danny Gokey. And so what I can go on the floor, hit it, and he changed the page. Automatically change the sounds on my pad, so I don't have to do anything else. So now I just use my finger, boom, next song, next song, next song, next song. And I changed, you know, I got all different sounds in it. This little guy here, I am not a keyboard player. I refuse to be a keyboard player, and I am not that smart to be a keyboard player. But anyhow, this thing is like the commander. Like if you see here, I have all the songs that we play in our shows, and then I overlay the new songs for the tour. And this is stop and play. So basically, before the show starts, set it up on higher, see the computer, change pages, set it up on higher, hit play, and boom, it goes. I don't have to do anything else, just hit the songs that we play 2 songs back to back, so it just go by itself. I can even control this through here, that's a versatile thing. But again, I'm not that smart. I'm working on it. I don't know how to do it, but I'm being a little bit lazy. It's too much. But anyway, we'll get there. Hey guys, thank you very much for being our friends today and coming backstage and pre-show to check what we have on our gear stuff. If you want more information, you can check unspokenmusic.com, or you can check our Facebook is Unspoken Music. Feel free to come, leave a comments, and we like to answer you back. We still do that ourselves. And check our new album, which came out in August and still out there. Is Follow Through. 14 songs is awesome. You're gonna enjoy it. We have from pop all the way up to, because I'm Puerto Rican, so we got to put some rhythm stuff there, and I get away with it, which is great. Go check it out. Love you guys. Hope to see you guys soon on our show. Blessings.